We argued, but not a lot. We had kids. First, planned child, was 6 years ago, second, surprise child, and last is now 3. Since having kids it's been tough to get time together. Both of our parents live a few hours drive away. There aren't many babysitters we've found that can handle our rambunctious boys. Husband works a demanding, stressful job and has had to cancel vacation plans more than once over the last 6 years because of a terrible boss. We were seeing each other for what felt like minutes every day, and our children, while wonderful, demanded a lot of our time and energy. His boss changed about 6 months ago. Immediately his hours became more reasonable and his stress levels went down. Still long hours and troublesome days, but better. We had evenings together again, but something was different. It felt like we were strangers, just roommates who had kids together. We were just so exhausted from the last few years that we must have spent a couple months using any spare time we had once the kids were in bed crashing, watching Netflix, etc. Just boring stuff, and all along I felt very disconnected from the man who was supposed to be my partner. So we talked about it. I told him I missed him. We had a few conversations about feeling disconnected. We hired a sitter, went on some dates, and things started to feel better. He's been more loving and attentive. He bought me flowers again. I was feeling so hopeful, like I was getting my partner back. About a month ago I noticed something I thought I wasn't supposed to. He has been talking about this work trip coming up. For a week in August, it's been a bit of a sore spot for me since in my mind summer is for family vacations, not work trips. But I've been understanding. However, when he was in the shower his phone beeped, and I saw an email from someone named Allison entitled Our Trip. I felt a little weird looking at it, but when I asked him about it he checked his phone and told me it was a spam email. I didn't think of it after that, but since then I haven't seen his phone left out again. I found something else about a week ago. It was a receipt for a jewelry store, and it was a sizable sum. Money has never really been terribly tight for us, but even I was surprised by how much it was for. I felt a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach and, I admit, looked for his personal laptop to see if I could snoop through his emails. But he'd taken his personal laptop to work, something he'd never done. I was getting nervous but somehow didn't want to bring it up with him. Maybe I was trying not to believe it. But this morning I found his credit card bill in his sock drawer. Why was he hiding it, you ask? There were transactions going back over the last month, all for stores that men typically don't shop at. I added them up and he has spent a few $100s on what looks like women's clothing and lingerie. I haven't seen anything from these stores in our house, so who are they for? He is working better hours but still away some evenings. He could be spending at least an evening a week with someone else. I don't know what to think, but I fear the worst. Is there someone else? Was I too unavailable when our kids were younger? Is he going on a trip with them? Is it this Allison person? What am I going to do if he leaves me? He's buying her presents, for God's sake. Doesn't that usually mean a man is moving on or falling in love somewhere else? I don't know what to do. I don't know any of his passwords, so I can't snoop. I could call his office to make sure he is actually there. When he says he is, but if I talk to anyone I think I'm just going to start bawling again. He should be home in a few hours. What am I going to do? I don't want to raise my kids alone. I don't want to be alone. I think I found proof my husband is cheating on me. I just had a very strange conversation with my sister. I told her everything. I was getting really worked up and emotional and crying again. She interrupted me and told me, sis, it's going to be fine. You need to calm down and talk to husband when he gets home. I promise everything is okay. Hang up the phone, take a bath or something, calm down and wait for husband to get home. Then she said she loved me and she hung up. My husband texted. He said my sister had called him and he was on his way home. I immediately freaked out because I did not feel ready to talk to him. I was super pissed at my sister for calling him, and to be honest I felt like the entire world was falling down around my ears. I broke down. I didn't even know where I was, but when I heard the front door open I realized I was on my knees in the kitchen sobbing. My husband skidded around the corner and when I saw him I just started crying harder. He dropped to the ground in front of me and started apologizing and I just lost it. I started shaking my head and saying no 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 over and over again. I couldn't even hear what he was saying. He tried to hug me and I held my arms out all stiff, like a kid does when they don't want to hug, just holding him back. It took me a few minutes to register what he was saying, but he was repeating over and over, I'm sorry for scaring you. Please listen to me. You need to hear what's going on. I'm not cheating. Please listen to me. Just over and over. I finally stopped and just said, what?